When that stopped in construction for all of those phases on January the 20th, there was ordered a 60-day study. Can you tell us the status of that study? Because it's been about 200 days since that was done. Is that a study that we could get access to? Is it complete?
That study is ongoing, but we are going project by project.
Rio Grande Valley sector, which last week alone had 20,000 encounters with people illegally crossing the border just last week. In that sector, it's another sector where the gates are installed, but just the power has been cut off to them. And as of January the 20th, they can't open and close gates. Literally, farmers that the fence in some areas cross across their fields can't access both parts of it. They've got to go the long way around. So the challenge is, while you're identifying that in one sector in California and in Texas, they have the exact same issue, yet they're not able to access their fields because the power has not been turned on. There's some common sense to this as well that doesn't require 200 days of study to say we're going to be able to put the gates up. We're going to put power to the gates so we can actually open and close them. We're going to do roads around so the Border Patrol can actually do patrol. So I would encourage the completion of that, not to mention the fact $2 billion has already been spent of the $10 billion that was allocated to it, not to build the fencing itself. Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Mr. Secretary, it's good to see you again. Thanks for our phone calls in the previous week and for the letters. I've sent over a letter request to you, some specific details and facts and figures. Can you give us just an update on when we might get some of the answers to some of those questions and some of the facts and figures I've continued to be able to ask for?
Senator, I know that is, and thank you. I appreciated our discussion a great deal. I need to follow up since our conversation to provide you with a definite timetable. I know it's pressing, and we need to deliver that to you forthwith. So I will follow up later today.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Obviously, you know that I've been pretty outspoken and try to get some of these facts and figures that are not unrealistic for the Oversight Committee to be able to get access to these numbers, regardless of party. We have a responsibility to be able to go through these facts and figures. You and I also had a conversation briefly about TSA and about some of the pipeline decisions they've made on interim regulatory decisions. My request to you was obviously to get communication back and forth with some of the pipeline companies and to be able to get notice and comment. They have some interim guidance out there. I have had some assurances from you that there will be some notice and comment and some time for the companies to be able to actually contribute some insight, based on the simple fact that some of the statements that were required of them will take a very long time to be able to actually accomplish. And for just a simple instance, some of the things that they're being asked to do and to prove, they've already done, but it looks like they're being asked to do it again just because of a new guidance. So is there notice and comment time coming for that, for TSA?
Yes, that is indeed the plan. That remains the plan. I appreciated your feedback in our prior conversation with respect to the private sector companies that are subject to TSA's action, and I've begun to follow up already on that.
Terrific. Thank you for that. Let's talk about the border wall, this fencing, which is really a system that's in place. The fence is the most prominent, noticeable portion of that. It includes the fence. It includes a road for patrol. It includes fiber to do ground detection for movement. It includes cameras. It includes lighting. When that stopped in construction for all of those phases on January the 20th, there was ordered a 60-day study. Can you tell us the status of that study? Because it's been about 200 days since that was done. Is that a study that we could get access to? Is it complete?
That study is ongoing, but we are going project by project, Senator. And in fact, in the San Diego sector, for example, of the border, I just approved the application of technology to make 33 gates operational, and approved other things in the San Diego sector. We're going project by project, and I'd be very pleased to provide you with an update on that.
That'd be very helpful. In the Rio Grande Valley sector, which last week alone had 20,000 encounters with people illegally crossing the border just last week. In that sector, it's another sector where the gates are installed, but just the power has been cut off to them. And as of January the 20th, they can't open and close gates. Literally, farmers that the fence in some areas cross across their fields can't access both parts of it. They've got to go the long way around. So the challenge is, while you're identifying that in one sector in California and in Texas, They have the exact same issue, yet they're not able to access their fields because the power has not been turned on. You've got other areas where all of the fence is done except for the gates have not been hung, and those are areas where apparently contractors have been hired to be able to watch the steel in the ground rather than actually install it. I think there's some common sense to this as well that doesn't require 200 days of study to say we're going to be able to put the gates up. We're going to put power to the gates so we can actually open and close them. We're going to do roads around so the Border Patrol can actually do patrol. So I would encourage the completion of that, not to mention the fact $2 billion has already been spent of the $10 billion that was allocated to it, not to build the fencing itself. And so we're now down 20% of the funding for whatever decision is going to be made on that. That's obviously a serious fiscal issue in the days ahead.
Senator, if I may, I'm not familiar with that figure, but let me say that the study involves a number of different aspects. For example, adverse environmental impacts that people in those communities have complained of deeply, as well as private landowners' complaints about the taking of their property by eminent domain to construct a border wall. So the review that we're undertaking is comprehensive, taking into consideration landowners' concerns as well. And we're very mindful, of course, of the challenge in the RGV and very focused on it.
Is it your assumption that at some point that your study may come back and say you want to take parts of the wall down based on landowner comments?
I haven't crossed that issue just yet. If in fact there's that consideration, I certainly would be willing and eager to engage with you on it.
I think that would be a dreadful mistake in the process to be able to have $1 billion that's spent, and we can have a conversation about that. But let me talk about the interim ICE.
I haven't encountered that. I have not encountered that yet, Senator.
Terrific. Hopefully it's not encountered. We have ICE agents that have interim guidance that's been given to them. My understanding is as far as their detention or deportation or arrest of an individual that's currently inside the United States. Now, you set priorities for them of if they have crossed illegally across the border during the last, now it is 8 months. If they're a person that has said that they had a notice to appear somewhere, a notice to report, I should say, of this 35,000, but yet they actually didn't report in, they exceeded their time period that they were allotted to be able to turn in, or if they're a criminal alien. That seemed to be the guidance that you gave out for individuals. So when is the final guidance for ICE and actually how they're going to operate? When is that coming?
So the three priority areas are national security, public safety, and border security. Border security includes recent border crossers that are not honoring their legal obligations to appear in court in immigration proceedings. We file immigration enforcement proceedings with respect to individuals who claim relief at the border, those who are not expelled under Title 42. I have been traveling around the country and engaging with the ICE workforce as I develop the enforcement guidelines. My hope is to issue those guidelines in mid-October. I'm sorry, mid-August. Mid-August, I apologize.
Mid-August, okay. Mr. Chairman, could I have the consent to have one minute, a follow-up question?
Yes, without objection.
Thank you. We've tried to interact and be able to determine all the criminal alien portion. I know there's been a significant change in that. One of the cases that came out, and we have multiples of them, I can share any of these with you, but one of the cases, it's a recent one, was there's an individual, previously deported alien. He had a conviction for sexual assault of a minor under 14 years of age. Alien was at large. ICE officers requested permission to target that subject, and the request was denied by ICE management under the new guidelines. It's there. Second case, previously deported alien, conviction for indecency with a child under 5 years of age. That was a registered sex offender for life. Subject's case was evaluated. ICE officers were directed not to pursue arrest under the new guideline. Third case, deported alien twice, conviction for alien smuggling in the past, theft, illegal reentry, asked for permission to be able to interdict, was turned down by regional officers. It's going to be helpful to be able to get new guidance because the guidance that's currently existing is allowing individuals that are sex offenders, that are criminal aliens, multiple deportations. I can tell you stories of folks with multiple DUI convictions that are being instructed by regional leaders not to detain, deport, or arrest. That is a problem for us right now.
Senator, I can't speak to the particular cases that you cite and the facts involved, but let me say this. Yesterday, we announced the results to date of Operation SOAR, which is a law enforcement operation conducted by Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and they reported the arrest of 300 individuals who have committed sex offenses. So that is, in fact, a public safety threat that we do address aggressively. So I can't speak to the 3 cases that you cite, but I can champion the results of Operation SOAR and our focus on the public safety threat, and that includes individuals who've committed sex offenses.
Well, the last number I had was 6,000 ICE agents in the field and 3,000 detainments or deportations in the month. And that's one of the numbers that we're trying to request from your office to be able to get exact numbers and be able to track that, what's happening. And that would be very helpful to us.